To succeed, you gotta do your best. But to win, you gotta be the best.
What up? It's me, Prez, back at you with a Real Ninja Reacts. And we have a video here today. This is part 2 of these 3 couples were killed together by deadly predators. All right. So this is part 2. So that means I did 1 already. Okay. So we got 2 to go. I might do all 2. I'm not sure. But if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor and like, comment, and subscribing, doing all that stuff that us content creators actually do that you never do. I appreciate it if you did that. But if you don't, if you don't want to do none of that stuff because it's free, that's how you support for free. Like, comment, subscribe, add, all that good stuff. But since you don't want to do that, you must want to support by hitting this Cash App right down here. There you go, right there. It's over there. All right. Hit that Cash App. Send me about $5. Say, hey, Prez, you're doing a good job. Keep it going. Since you don't want to do the free stuff, you want to send me money, right? Okay, I get it. So let's get to it. This is part 2 of these. Well, 2 couples were killed by deadly predators. Let's go.
Boyfriend and girlfriend Roy Stoddard and Tamara McAllister were 2 24-year-olds who met whilst teaching in the same school in West Malibu, California. They initially bonded over their sense for adventure. Tamara was preparing for public health work in Kenya as part of her master's degree. Roy turned his hand to anything from mountain climbing, biking, and surfing to scuba diving and kayaking. The 2 of them spent all their spare time hiking, camping, and kayaking together. On Thursday, January 26, 1989, the couple were training for a triathlon that they were planning on competing in together. In preparation for the upcoming race, they kayaked and swam daily. Their usual route took them on a 3-mile round trip from Latigo Point to Paradise Cove. They each took a single-man kayak into the water on that fateful day. They headed down to the water.
I don't like kayaks. I got a friend that actually died because a kayak, I don't know he was kayaking when he died. So I don't think kayaks are very safe per se. Maybe. I'm not sure. I've never been kayak. So let me not scare you off from kayaking. But the last video, the dude was running around messing with bears. Okay, he was messing with bears. So if you didn't see that video, go back and find part 1 of these couples were killed by deadly predators. And yeah, so they don't seem like they were playing with animals. So let's see what happens.
Just before 9 a.m. Pausing on the sand, they both sat down and enjoyed a hot cup of coffee and a muffin to kickstart their day. A passerby saw them launch at 9:30 before they paddled northwards around Latigo Point and on towards Paradise Cove. It was like any of their other training days. The couple were happy and excited to spend the time together. The wind was light and the seas were fairly calm. As they paddled into the sea that day, they were never to return again. There were no further sightings of the couple alive. Tamara's body was found 2 days later. This story is based on the findings and
subsequent like somebody off the Beatles, like Ringo.
Report by the case investigator Ralph Collier. The following is one of the number of possibilities that could have happened to the couple and is based on circumstantial evidence. After finishing their coffee, they put on their windbreakers and zipped them up over their swimsuits. These were blue and black wetsuit-style jackets that kept them warm on the open water. As the wind was picking up, there was a chill in the air. The couple paddled to about 100 yards out, remaining shoreside of the kelp beds. They knew it was safer not to paddle beyond the kelp forests, as more often than not, they act as a natural deterrent to sharks. After heading around Latigo Point, the wind buffeted them. It whipped the surface of the sea, the salt spray wetting their faces and stinging their eyes. They bowed their heads against it, digging in and persevering. The training route usually took them 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how long they stopped for a swim at the halfway point. Today, it was taking them a bit longer. They lashed their kayaks together as Tamara was being blown off course. the momentary pause in paddling gave them a breather and some respite. They decided to continue. Roy made headway in the lead kayak, cutting a wake for Tamara to follow. He felt the tugging of the rope every so often as it went taut, pulling Tamara back on course. It wasn't long before they could see their halfway destination, Paradise Cove. But they never made it. Suddenly, without warning, there was a tremendous smash from below the water. Something from the depths torpedoed upwards and struck the boats from underneath. The two of them were thrown from their kayaks and slammed into the sea. Tamara resurfaced, coughing and sputtering, unsure.
Yeah, these sharks, I'm guessing they get attacked. I don't know what they get attacked by. I'm guessing right now. But it sounds like a shark attack. And yeah, they didn't ate a body before. They know, hey, oh, this is free food right here. Knock a kayak over.
Of what had just happened. Seconds later, she felt a tremendous tug on her left thigh and was pulled underwater. Kicking and thrashing around, she desperately tried to pull herself to the surface, but a shark had a strong grip of her leg. She could feel her lungs about to burst as the shark twisted and turned underwater. Roy had knocked his head on his kayak when he had been thrown into the ocean. Dazed and dizzy, he frantically blinked, trying to make sense of the situation.
Hold up. Now, if they don't know what happened, how they know all this information that they're saying right here is blowing me.
Seconds later, he heard the terrified screams of his girlfriend as she momentarily resurfaced. He wheeled around to see a sea of red and their upturned kayaks bobbing in the water. He immediately swam over to the commotion and managed to grab Tamara's hand. Pulling her above the surface of the water, she gasped for breath. He held on to her, trying desperately to pull her to the boats.
So the shark got a leg, but when they say blood in the water for a reason, it's for sharks.
Hulls of the kayaks were wet and slippery. Each time he tried to grab on, his hand would slip. He lifted one side, trying to flip it back over, but the weight was immense, and whilst holding on to Tamara with one arm, he didn't have the strength to right the boat. He tried again and again. The commotion in the water was witnessed by Margaret Bloom. As she looked out of her living room windows at 10:15 that morning, she noticed an incredible boiling of the water and thrashing about. It was out past the kelp beds near a large United States Coast Guard buoy. She spotted
So they went past the kelp beds.
a number of seals leap out of the water onto the surface of the buoy, avoiding the churning sea. They were anxious and agitated. It is unclear whether this commotion was a shark attacking one of them.
They was like, nigga, the sharks in there getting, man, we better get the fuck out this water, nigga. They ain't playing today.
The seals, or whether it was the actual attack on Tamara and Roy. If it was the former and had unsuccessfully caught a seal, the same shark may have turned its attention to the kayaks a few moments later. As Roy held on to Tamara, keeping her afloat, he could feel her slipping away. The shark had severed her femoral artery and she was bleeding out. But the shark hadn't finished yet. It returned, and in a frantic attack, it took hold of Roy and dragged him underwater, never to be seen again. When the couple didn't show up to work the next day, their friends and colleagues raised the alarm. People knew that Tamara and Roy had taken the kayaks out, and they knew their routine paddle. The kayaks were found the day after the attack. They were floating and upturned less than 20 miles from where the couple had paddled, on the opposite side of Santa Monica Bay. The kayaks had stress fractures along their hulls, and one had a hole in the bow. On examination of this evidence, an engineer suggested that significant impact and force would cause this kind of damage. The object that struck the kayaks needed to have been in excess of 2,000 pounds, or 900 kilograms.
The shark was a fucking bullet. It shot up, hit the kayak to poke a hole in it, so it'll sink.
And traveling at least 17 knots. These are characteristics of a great white shark. These incredible apex predators are also known to attack their prey from behind or from underneath, often shooting out of the water as they do so. The following day, the crew of a sailing boat found Tamara's body floating in the water. The current had carried her 30 miles north of Paradise Cove, near Channel Islands Harbor. She was still wearing her jacket. which suggests that she wasn't swimming when she was attacked. Her injuries included deep bite wounds to her upper thighs. One had severed her femoral artery and vein, and the other measured more than 34 centimeters or 13 inches in diameter. She had bruising to her hand and head, possibly from being thrown from her kayak. From the size of the bite marks and severity of the injuries, it was concluded that a great white shark measuring at least 5 feet long had been the cause of the fatality.
Ooh.
Following the discovery of Tamara's body, the United States Coast Guard conducted a search and rescue operation by both boat and helicopter to try and find Roy. After a week-long search, no trace of him was ever found. This devastating attack happened within sight of the shore, and yet no one witnessed it. The young couple were both fit and adventurous. Although Tamara was new to kayaking, Roy had been on the water since childhood, and both were exceptional swimmers. Their lives were cut tragically short, simply doing what they loved. While the ocean and its beaches provide us with some of nature's greatest playgrounds, we must remember that this is the shark's habitat, not ours. And despite how experienced and prepared you might be, one encounter with these murderous creatures can lead you to your unfortunate final affliction.
Wow, that's a crazy story. Unlike the last couple, because this is 3 couples that were killed by deadly predators, they didn't go looking for trouble. The last couple went looking for trouble. They was sleeping with bears and trying to feed them and want to test their glucose levels and all the other stuff, you know. But these people just was out doing what they love, and it's tragic, very sad. But if you in shark territory, you might sleep with the fishes. Damn it, Chris. I try to be more sensitive, but it already happened. You know what I mean? And I'm here to entertain, and I got like a dark sense of humor. I apologize. Okay. RIP to these couples. And I'm going to turn this into a 3-part series. I wasn't going to do all 3 of them, but now I need to see what the other couple did. So, like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff that us content creators actually do that you never do. I got a Cash App here. If you want to support, you can just go ahead and send me like $5. Say, Press, you're doing a good job. Send a thumbs up, you know, because if you don't want to like, subscribe, or comment, you must want to send me some money, right? Of course. That's how it goes. You don't want to support with the free stuff, so that means you got that bread to send me some. So do that if you feel like it. I appreciate it. Only like 2 people ever sent me a donation randomly. Like, I don't know these people. Yeah, my mom was watching one of my videos one time. She sent me a Cash App. I sent you a Cash App, baby. You was doing real good. Okay. All right, mama. But I'll holler back. Y'all, it'd be great. Make sure you hit that notification button so you know when I do videos. I do them every day. Anytime I'm watching TV, I just go ahead and do a reaction video to whatever I'm watching. So, TV. Oh, well, y'all have a great day. Holla!
Go, give me the go. I want the go.